Hello again, everybody. I hope you're all doing okay because at the moment the weather is very hot. And some of you have been asking, what am I doing for my ants in this heat? So, firstly, a disclaimer. I used to think, and I think I've made comments on this channel like a year or 2 years ago, that really, as long as they didn't dry out, there was no harm. They got hot, it meant they ran faster, it meant their brood developed quicker. But I've since been doing research on this, and no, there is a upper limit where it can cause problems. No one's really sure what that is by species, but looking at what various people say, I'm going to say it's going to be around 35. You don't want to let Lasius go above 35. That's almost a critical point for them. And I don't know, and I'll never know, but I still believe my best hypothesis for what happened to my main colony is that my queen overheated and became infertile. That is what I think happened. So I'm now a lot more temperature worried about them than I used to be in the past. So yes, I've been trying my absolute hardest. You've seen some pictures there of cucumber in the outworld, and I looked at that and I thought those flowers, that's almost panicky. They seem to be really stressing. So what I'm doing, learn how heat works. Heat, first of all, hot air rises. That's your first thing you need to know. Secondly, if hot air takes water with it, so evaporated water goes into the hot air that is then rising, that cools the air as it evaporates. So having water evaporating into rising hot air helps cool the local environment. And heat always is trying to move from any hot area to any cold area. You don't ever actually cool things down. You pull the heat out of it. The heat moves from the hot thing to the cool thing and warms the cool thing up so that they then have the same temperature. So yes, this is what I've done. Quick tour. First of all, I've got the lids off both outworlds. I'm trusting my Fluon. Having that little contained box of hot air isn't really good for them. And I'm blowing a fan across the top of the outworlds with the open lids. Doesn't have to be a strong fan, just a gentle breeze across the top. You can see the leaves moving there. That keeps the air that rises up, the hot air hopefully that rises up out the outworld. It blows it away, gets rid of that air that's filled with water, hopefully as well. Blows it away, brings fresh air in, keep that going, keep that stream of air moving the old air off the top of the outworlds. Second thing, obviously, water. So first of all, do not let your ants dry out in this heat. I mean, yes, I'm going to talk about ways that I'm trying to get the heat down for the ants, but whatever you do, don't let them dry out. Make sure they've got a fresh water source. That's absolutely imperative. Another thing I've done then, like I said earlier, if the water's evaporating, so I've put bottle caps filled with sand, which I then drip using a pipette. I drip water into that sand to make it wet, soggy sand. If the ants want to go and sit on it, that's fine. They won't drown because it's filled with sand. Also, the sand sort of holds it all together and holds it in place longer, but that's just then evaporating in the outworld and going out the top, and great. That's hoping as well to bring down the temperature. I found out that ceramic is a natural heat sink. Ceramic is always cooler than the surrounding air around it. I'll let some physics chemists go into the details of why, not for this channel, but yes, ceramic is a natural heat sink. So what I've done is I've put them both on a big ceramic tile, and this will suck the heat, a little bit of heat. It's probably about 1 degree. I've done a laser gun, temperature gun on it, and it's 1 degree cooler than the rest of the stuff in the flat. So it's basically constantly lowering or trying to lower the temperature of the nest by taking heat out and then dissipating it out. I'm using these little fruit. These are little freezer cubes. They're not actually pieces of fruit. They've got that gel inside them. You put them in the freezer, it goes hard, and then you can bring them out. They're technically for putting in drinks, and we've got about 20 or 30 of them. So I'm rotating them about every half hour. I bring a new one out and put on top of the nest and take the old one, which is now completely thawed out and gone back to liquid, back into the freezer, and I've got enough that I can keep going. They seem to like this a lot. Yes, it makes the condensation come up where you put them, because obviously you're cooling the acrylic and that makes it condensate. But I can see all the ants are getting squashed in underneath there, and they seem to really like that. So definitely they want to be cooler. And then the final thing I've done is I've put a big freezer block, you know, the big full cool blocks. They're wrapped in a plastic bag to stop the condensation from leaking everywhere. But I've put one of those onto the ceramic tile, which will just help the ceramic tile be a better heat sink. So yes, that's what I'm doing, and trying to keep the room as cool as possible, keeping the curtains closed in the afternoon when the sun comes round this side of the house, and the windows closed, but having the windows open in the evenings, trying to get a through breeze, things like that. But the most important, I think, is the having the outworld lids off and blowing that air current across. Final little thing, I filmed that cucumber after I started doing that, and you can see within 30 minutes the sort of panic had gone, so I'd got them, I hope, cool enough. But yeah, this is what I'm doing what I can, doing my best. I don't really know the answers for everybody, but this is what I'm trying. Thank you for watching, everybody. Until next time, goodbye.